The Tennessee Volunteers. It's like Jeremy Pruitt out, Josh Heupel in. The Heupel and his staff were able to sort of keep a decent recruiting class together, and transfers. Hey, Hendon Hooker shows up. That's good. That's some Virginia Tech quarterback. Okay, let's see what's been in the out folder. Okay. Jarrett Garantano goes to Washington State. JT Shrout to Colorado. Eric Gray to Oklahoma. Ty Chandler to North Carolina. Brandon Johnson to UCF. Jameer Johnson to Texas A&M. Wanya Morris to Oklahoma. Key Lawrence to Oklahoma. Savon Williams to Texas A&M. DeAndre Johnson to Miami. And Henry To'oTo'o probably to rival Alabama, but none of that's official. That's just us guessing right now. And, that's just your best defensive player in BD. Goodness gracious. It is very hard for me to have expectations for Tennessee in year one with Josh Heupel.
The number one thing on everybody's agenda in Knoxville this spring just has to be learning everybody's name. Because nobody in that building knows anybody else at this point. It's all a bunch of new faces, new players playing for new coaches. This spring is going to be, everybody's going to be wearing name tags, and that is going to be the number one goal, is that by the end of spring practice, I'm going to be able to tell you what your name is without wearing that name tag. That should be the goal, because it's impossible to figure out what one area or one thing you need to focus on when looking at Tennessee, just based on all the changes, the timing of the coach hiring, the new AD coming in, a new coach coming in, new coaching staff, a bunch of players going out, a bunch of players coming in, a bunch of people that are still there that were just had no idea what was going on or what their futures were going to be. I think that this 2021, if I'm a Tennessee fan, I'm approaching this year as, let's just all get along. Let's not have any riots. Let's not have any craziness. Let's just focus on everybody getting through, getting along, and nobody getting too seriously hurt, and then prepare ourselves for 2022.
They have a couple players who are okay.
That are still on their roster?
Yeah, I mean, they've not even released a roster yet, so I just had to I had to do this by hand today. By the way, I know we had Connolly on the show. They got their adjusted returning experience is going to be wild once he takes out the rest of those transfers, because I don't think they're going to get Henry To'oTo'o back, and I don't think they're going to get Crouch back. So that's going to be even worse. I know the guys on the Vols 24/7 podcast were joking that, do you really need a linebackers coach if you only have 2 scholarship linebackers? So that could be a bit of an issue. I think you got a couple guys who are okay at O-line. I actually like some of the receivers who stayed. I think Ramel Keaton can be a pretty nice player for them. Think about the positions that would stay for a Josh Heupel team, right? Receiver is an obvious one, because you're going to get the ball a hell of a lot more than you would under Jeremy Pruitt's, run, third down and long, can't protect, chuck one, punt offense. So they got some decent dudes at receiver. I think they have some guys at safety who will be all right. And I think their D-line could be okay. The problem is the holes might just be really, really problematic, right? I mean, to lose Eric Gray and Ty Chandler at running back is kind of a big deal. And the linebacker spot is a big deal. And at corner, I think they are in real trouble. Quarterback, is it Hendon Hooker, Harrison Bailey? Is Maurer didn't transfer, right? So he's still in it. And then
Maurer's still in it. I didn't have him on my initial list, and I was doing some late research, and I think that he probably, if we're going to mention Harrison Bailey, Caden Salter, and Hendon Hooker, Brian Maurer probably deserves a mention there too, because he's probably has just as good a chance.
Caden Salter is really good, really pretty special.
True freshman.
Things to work on, but yeah, he was very productive at a high level of Texas ball, and has measurables and tools too. So he's got the tools and the production. That's a good thing.
Tennessee's going to be a dumpster fire this year. Yeah. I mean, earlier we talked about earlier this
year.
When Heupel was hired, we were kind of the offense will provide a spark, but I don't even know if that. I just have concerns about this team. It's been such a massive overhaul. There was such a mass exodus of players. There's still this cloud hanging over what happens. I just think they're going to be that team that struggles mightily this year. And I think Tennessee fans will have to see it as, hey, this is take it for what it is. We got We got in trouble. We're paying the penance for it, and now we're having to deal with it. And I wonder if you get those glimpses of Josh Heupel's high-powered offense or not, and you hope you do. Like that's something like you'd love to see. October 16th to get Ole Miss a 52-48 game. I just wonder if it's going to be 52-21. Ole Miss wins, and then you're like, where do we go from here? So I just think it's going to be a rough year for Tennessee.